Kyle Shanahan's come up short again, and it seems that he's had this choker label now attached to him after countless blown lead. Let's go back to Super Bowl 51. He's OC of the Atlanta Falcons. He gets away from the running game, doesn't bleed out the clock. Atlanta blows a 28-3 lead. A few years later, as head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, he has a lead on the Chiefs, 10 points heading into the fourth quarter, blows that. They lose. A couple years later, he's in the NFC Championship game against the LA Rams. He has a 10-point lead, cannot hold on. Rams go on to win the Super Bowl. Last year, against the Philadelphia Eagles, he tries to get a little gimmicky and uses a backup tight end to block Hassan Reddick, and Hassan Reddick blows up Brock Purdy's elbow. The game's virtually over from there because they have no quarterbacks available. Then, this year, he has a 10-0 lead in the Super Bowl, cannot find ways to handle that, and later loses. The cherry on top, I think, is that you don't have the chance to educate your players on the new overtime rules. This happened 2 years ago. Andy Reid had this whole presentation, according to Kansas City players when they were interviewed about it, that they had education on every facet of the new overtime rules, while this wasn't really something apparent because they received the ball and didn't defer in overtime. This is just big mismanagement in the game that matters the most, the Super Bowl, and you don't have your players prepared. And from schematically, I mean, when the offense kind of lulled in the second quarter to the third quarter where they got away from the run from Christian McCaffrey, I know he wasn't running it great, but you gotta keep riding him because he's going to eventually bust open a big game. That happened in the receiving game, but not really in the running game. It just didn't seem like they stuck out with it. Didn't find ways to get Kittle the ball, nor Ayuk, nor Deebo Samuel. Christian McCaffrey almost had as many receiving yards as those three I just mentioned combined. Just didn't get it done. No answers for the blitz. Every time Spagnuolo called a blitz, Brock Purdy didn't have any answers to it. And I can't blame Brock Purdy for it because Mahomes, he was able to screen a pass away from the blitz when they dialed it up against the Chiefs. This all comes back to Kyle Shanahan. He is now absolutely a choke artist in this league, and now we have to question, because this is his show, he's been running it now since 2017, and we have to question, is he overrated as a head coach in this league?